The News 4 Rundown starts now.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the News 4 Rundown. I'm Un Yang. It's Wednesday, July 22nd. Here's a look at some of the stories we're following for you tonight. A month from now, the Freedom 250 Grand Prix kicks off in the district, but road repairs are needed before the racers rev their engines. Coming up, what crews are working on and how it could impact your commute. Plus, an early morning dance party inside one of D.C.'s iconic museums. We'll take you there and tell you when is the next time you can join the fun. But we begin tonight tracking not one, but two incidents apparently involving immigration agents in our region, both getting a lot of attention online because of just how public they were. One taking place along a busy stretch of road in Maryland, the other ending with a vehicle crashing into a Northern Virginia townhome. The incident on the Claire Barton Parkway in Glen Echo, Maryland, created a lot of confusion and chaos for drivers. We're told park police were stopping vehicles in the area when several people abandoned their car and ran. Video shows ICE agents among the officers running after them. We're also tracking a situation in Sterling, Virginia, where a dangerous car chase through a parking lot ended up with a pickup crashing into a home. We'll get to the shocking video from that crash in Sterling in just a few. But first, Paul Wagner gets us caught up on the developing situation along the Claire Barton Parkway.
Good evening. I'm at Lock 7 here along the Clara Barton Parkway. The Glen Echo turnaround is just down the road a little bit. It was just after 9 o'clock this morning, according to witnesses, that they were sitting in traffic getting up to the turnaround where they noticed that there was an enforcement operation going on. It was the U.S. Park Police who said they were doing a commercial vehicle enforcement and they were working with their federal partners. At that point, witnesses say suddenly a white van with ladders on the top suddenly pulled over and three men jumped out and began running. In video shared with News 4, you can see three men running up the inbound side of the Clara Barton Parkway, away from the Glen Echo turnaround. The white panel van with ladders on top is left by the side of the road. In another video shared with News 4, officers are seen running after the men, followed by a police SUV driving against the inbound traffic. Jake Schaller, who is married to News 4's Melissa Millay, was sitting in traffic approaching the turnaround when he noticed the men running towards him.
I saw two men, probably in their 30s, both Hispanic, running kind of towards me up Claire Barton Parkway. So I started looking around, and then came a third man running the same way, kind of up Claire Barton Parkway, except he, before he kind of got towards my car, just took a left and dipped down between the bushes and the trees towards the canal.
Within minutes, police asked Montgomery County Fire and Rescue to launch swift water boats to help in the search for the men, who, according to radio traffic from firefighters on the scene, believed the men may have gone into the Potomac River.
Our Lock 7 command, be advised, CRV 700 is coming to your location, and now you have a total of three suspects in the water.
The radio traffic also said ICE agents were looking for the men.
Swiftwater 710 Bravo to command. We're going to be launching with two now and two ICE agents on board our boat.
According to witnesses, the men took off running at around 9 a.m. Within an hour or so, radio traffic from firefighters indicated two men were in custody. The U.S. Park Police confirmed they were working with, quote, federal law enforcement partners at the Glen Echo turnaround, without saying specifically it was ICE. But when asked about the manhunt and arrests, U.S. Park Police referred News 4 to ICE. News 4 has reached out to ICE to learn exactly what happened here today and who they have taken into custody, but ICE never responded to our questions. We also asked County Executive Mark Elrich about this today. He had a media briefing and took questions, and he told News 4 that this is not the first time that ICE has conducted an operation here along the Clara Barton Parkway. And he said, quote, it's another dark chapter in the work that Donald Trump does. At Lock 7, Paul Wagner, News 4.
Now to that wild chase in Sterling. This video shows the aftermath after neighbors say federal agents were chasing this truck. The passenger of the truck jumped out and then it flew down an embankment and into a townhome. Northern Virginia Bureau reporter Drew Wilder spoke with one neighbor who says the incident makes her feel unsafe.
It's the video that really tells the story here, but I want to give you the lay of the land so you can get some perspective and truly appreciate how dangerous this was. Right about 6:30 this morning, pickup truck comes around this corner, passenger's door's open, guy's hanging out of it. Then you can see here, it appears it tried to slow down because there's some tire marks going right up to the curb. The pickup truck skips the curb, goes down this embankment, and it smashes right into that townhouse. The guy who was dangling out of the door got out and ran off. Several men chased after him. Neighbors here in the community believe he was being chased by ICE. Wild new video tonight of a dangerous car chase through a Sterling neighborhood. The white pickup truck turns the corner with the passenger door hanging open. The truck is approaching the end of the parking lot with a steep drop-off right on the other side. A man hops out of the passenger door and takes off on foot as the pickup slides down the embankment and crashes into a townhouse near Sherwood Court. Then from this angle, we can see the man running through the grass. An officer chasing after him trips and falls, leaving a large divot in the grass. He gets up and keeps chasing after. More law enforcement run past the camera, and then we can hear shouting off camera. The woman whose house was hit says she was terrified. She asked us to blur her face and says her home security camera didn't start recording until after the crash. Neighbors tell News4 they believe the officers in vests are ICE agents. One neighbor shared this video with News4 as she walked around the scene in disbelief, and then she opened up about what she witnessed and how she's feeling. How are you feeling as a mother with all of that happening just feet away from your 3 kids?
Yeah, I'm scared.
So scared that she's asked us not to show her face or use her name, even though she says she's in the country legally. She says these dangerous law enforcement pursuits are making everyone feel unsafe, even inside their own home.
It's not safe. You know, I know this is the job for this guy, but if you do the job, you need to do safe.
News4 reached out to ICE and the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office to get answers about what happened in Sterling this morning. The Loudoun County Sheriff's Office responded saying this operation was conducted by federal agents, not local law enforcement. ICE has not responded. The woman whose house was hit says she was inside sleeping at that time with her 2 young kids. She brought me inside her home and showed me that some of the drywall on the inside had pushed into her living room. It had messed up an electrical outlet. She said the fire department told her to turn the power off to that part of her house so it didn't start a fire. So she doesn't have power on right now. She's working with the insurance company to try to figure out what's next, but she told me that she's already been told by the insurance company that regardless what happens, her rate's going to go up. Reporting in Sterling, Drew Wilder, News4.
A day after the House passed a continuing resolution to extend funding for the Department of Homeland Security and ICE, a progressive House Democrat called out colleagues who have not supported her bill aimed at dismantling immigration enforcement. Illinois Congresswoman Delia Ramirez joined immigration advocates and the sister of a man who died in ICE custody in Georgia this month. Today's press conference also follows the recent deaths of men in Texas and Maine involving ICE agents. Congresswoman Ramirez says only 13 members of Congress have signed on to her bill so far, and she says they are all black and brown members of Congress. The MELT ICE Act would prevent DHS from using funds to detain or monitor immigrants and would end existing detention contracts.
This is not something that's only impacting communities of color. It's impacting all of us. And I have a lot of my colleagues who have been standing up and saying we have to abolish ICE. They've been speaking up in Homeland Security. And I hope that this press conference, the level of organizations that are going to begin to do action and organizing will help them join the bill.
This bill was first introduced in January amid protests over the death of Renee Good in Minneapolis and an uptick in ICE detentions across the country. Now let's get to some other stories we're following for you tonight. A Republican-backed bill has been introduced on Capitol Hill that would prevent the district from changing its tax code without explicit approval from Congress. Under the new measure, D.C. would have to wait for Congress to officially approve the tax code change, and Congress would have 60 days to make that decision. While the measure would likely pass the House, it is unclear if it has enough support in the Senate. After 2 years of negotiations, the D.C. Firefighters Association voted to ratify its new contract. The majority of union members approved the contract. The agreement includes higher pay, more work protections, and specific incentives for paramedics. All that's left is for the D.C. Council to give its approval. MedStar Washington Hospital Center is getting ready to close its entire postpartum unit at the end of this week. The hospital is cutting 11 maternal health beds and eliminating 8 nursing positions. Nurses at MedStar say the move could put patients in danger. MedStar says all maternal health services will remain open, and the consolidation is because of declining birth rates in D.C. and added financial pressures. Starting today, BWI Marshall Airport's longest commercial runway will close for nearly 3 months for a major rehabilitation project. Workers will repave the runway and install new LED lighting. The airport will remain open during construction, with flights operating on its other commercial runway. Both runways will temporarily close during overnight hours beginning August 4th through the first week of October. In just about a month, the IndyCar Freedom 250 Grand Prix will get underway here in the district. But before those cars can reach top speed, crews have to make sure our roads are in good enough shape. News 4 transportation reporter Adam Tess reports from the iconic stretch of Pennsylvania Avenue between the White House and the Capitol.
Down goes the piping hot asphalt, and a road refresh takes place ahead of the race.
Yeah, road crews hard at work as the Grand Prix is now just about a month away. And you know, if some of these cars are going to go 180 miles an hour down Pennsylvania Avenue, you better make sure Pennsylvania Avenue is all smoothed out. And that's what these road crews are doing here, putting down some fresh asphalt to make sure everything's even.
Bud Denker is president of Penske Corporation, a sponsor of the event. He talked about this road work at the event kickoff in March.
The good news about your roads in Washington, D.C., unlike other roads we go compete on, there's not much work we have to do.
Here comes New Garden.
And this weekend, the work will take on a whole new shape as the race course itself will be outlined.
We'll start putting the walls and fence up in July 26th, but here's the thing. Our work on the roads for putting walls and fence up will be between 7 p.m. and 5 a.m. We're not out here in the middle of the roads when people are out here congregating and driving on them to get in their way.
Take a look at where these cars will be racing the weekend of August 22nd and 23rd. Down Pennsylvania Avenue, over to Constitution Avenue, cross over the National Mall at 7th Street, down Independence Avenue, and then back to 3rd Street in front of the Capitol building. As for the ongoing road preps, all of this is creating some traffic headaches.
The traffic is definitely a little bit disappointing, with the roads being closed. I'm assuming it has to do with the racetrack that they're temporarily building.
Our road crews tell us they're trying to wrap up all of this in between rush hours.
It's crazy.
Do you know why they're doing it?
Honestly, I don't know what's going on here.
It's for the Grand Prix.
Oh.
IndyCar and Penske Entertainment tell News 4 they're absorbing a lot of the cost of the ongoing roadwork and design modifications to the racecourse itself, although an exact price tag has not yet been released. Along Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest, Adam Tuss, News 4.
If you want to go to the event, general admission tickets were handled through a lottery-type system for seats, but that lottery has now closed. And that brings us to today's question. Are you excited for the Freedom 250 Grand Prix on the National Mall? You can scan the QR code on your screen right now to vote. You can also visit NBCWashington.com/vote to weigh in for yourself right now. Most of you are not that excited. All right, much more to come tonight on the News 4 Rundown. Here's a look at what we have coming up.
So many people are using peptides for everything from weight loss to anti-aging and wound healing. But are they safe? Coming up, I'm taking a deep dive into the latest wellness trend ahead of an FDA advisory meeting that could make these injectables easier to access.
And most of us saw a beautiful day, but we have seen some storms down in our southern areas. We'll be talking more about that as we make our way through the night tonight and what's to come for the rest of your work week. I've got the forecast coming up.
It is the wellness trend everyone is Googling right now. Searches for peptides are soaring, with people using the injections to lose weight and look younger. So what exactly are they, and why is the FDA taking a fresh look at this treatment? News 4 consumer reporter Susan Hogan joins us to break it all down.
Peptides are exploding in popularity.
Why was I so late to the game on peptides? Like, everybody's doing them?
This is my first morning trying peptides.
From celebrities and influencers to suburban moms and even teens, millions are sharing their peptide stacks and jumping on the latest health craze.
These 2 peptides have changed my life. Let's talk about it.
So what exactly are peptides? Well, they're short chains of amino acids that act as biological messengers, sending instructions to cells and tissues involved in metabolism, tissue repair, hormone regulation, and immune response. Peptides can also be synthesized in a lab and injected by people who claim they help with building muscle, healing injuries, anti-aging, even delivering a sun-kissed tan without UV exposure. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been vocal about the benefits.
I've used them myself and used them with really good effect.
Now, under Kennedy's leadership, the FDA will decide whether to ease restrictions on some peptide injections. But Dr. Michelle Arthurs, a lifestyle medicine physician at Kaiser Permanente, worries the hype is outpacing the science.
The claims really are almost like superhero-like, right? They're marketed in a way that leads us into a seductive pathway of this is going to work for me no matter what, and I will have these results. And it's a powerful message, and it's really hard from a physician's standpoint to undo that.
Not all peptides are created equally. Some, including GLP-1 medications like Ozempic and Wegovy, as well as insulin, are FDA approved after years of rigorous clinical testing. But the vast majority promoted online are not FDA approved. Most are sold strictly for research purposes, with little oversight.
It's kind of a wild, wild west. We don't know that they really can do what they say they can do. We don't know truly what's on that ingredient list. And without that rigorous testing, we run the risk of unknown consequences, possible interactions with current medications that we might be taking. And we also just don't know long-term what this can mean, whether or not it's going to harm us 10 years down the road or not.
The Biden administration tightened restrictions on more than a dozen peptides over safety concerns. Secretary Kennedy argues those restrictions have pushed consumers toward an unregulated gray market in search of treatments they can't get anywhere else to look and feel their best. And that's exactly what worries Rena Dukor.
First, I look at it as like, how can you inject something without understanding what's in this vial?
Dukor is the founder of BioTools, a lab that has tested pharmaceutical products for drug companies and federal agencies for years. Now, through a startup called Finric, consumers can actually send in their peptide vials to find out what's actually inside. She says nearly 30% of the peptide samples they've analyzed were either mislabeled, under or overdosed, or contaminated with toxins and even bacteria.
Among the thousands of tests that we have been doing, we do find either live or dead bacteria in a lot of these vials. That could lead to hospitalizations.
Earlier this month, career scientists at the FDA outlined potential safety concerns and a lack of consistent data regarding peptides, too. And doctors we spoke to say easing restrictions without the proper testing could be problematic.
With any new product, peptide, whatever it might be that's introduced, we won't have long-term data on that. People should at least know that they're exposing themselves to a lot of unknown risks, most likely unintended consequences. And years later, we will look back on some of these peptides and wish we had that forethought to say maybe not.
The FDA panel of outside advisors includes members with ties to the peptide industry. They'll meet tomorrow and Friday to review 7 peptides for uses ranging from wound healing to insomnia and obesity to see if they should be added to a list of substances that can be safely produced by compounding pharmacies. Now, the FDA gets the final say. They typically go with the panel's recommendation. Back to you.
Wow, Doug, after all that rain, today turned into a really nice day.
Yeah, for most of us, today was gorgeous. I mean, I'd say about 90% of us stayed totally dry today. That 10% down around Fredericksburg, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? Down towards Fredericksburg, down towards parts of southern Maryland, the northern neck, those areas got rain. But take a look at this, 92 D.C. Now, it felt pretty good, even though we were hot and a little bit on the humid side. 93 Quantico, 89 at Dulles, cooler to the north, 85 in Hagerstown. Those were the high temperatures today, and the last time we'll hit 90 for a while. Out there this evening looking really, really good. Some shade as the sun is behind some clouds out there right now. But notice, not much in the way of cloud cover out there. 88 degrees currently. Dew points in the low 60s now, and it continues to drop. And it will continue to drop as we make our way in towards the next couple of days. 79 with sunshine in Hagerstown, 84 in Leesburg, 87 in Manassas. Notice Patuxent River at 72. Why? Well, that's where the rain has been, and we actually had some pretty strong storms making their way through St. Mary's County and parts of Calvert County a little bit earlier. That rain now making its way towards the eastern shore. Tracking some more showers that are going to try to work their way back into our region over the next few hours. Areas like Fredericksburg, back towards Dahlgren, in towards southern Maryland. If you've been hit today, you might get hit over the next few hours, too, if this boundary continues to develop. So I'll be tracking that for you over the next few hours. But the rest of us are all dry. I mean, there's nothing happening to the north. All the showers are down in towards the south and will continue to be. The cool weather has really working its way down. Trough of low pressure, deep trough, and that allows the cooler weather to just filter on down. It's going to be here for the next couple of days, and we've got a great stretch coming right on through Friday and into Saturday, and even into the rest of the weekend. So just gorgeous tomorrow, starting off temperatures in the 60s, getting up into the low 80s. I'm going for a high of 82, but 81 around 4 o'clock. Low humidity. I mean, that is a gorgeous afternoon for sure. Then we're looking at a fantastic Friday, super Saturday, sensational Sunday. Monday looks good, too. Next best chance for storms, and the next time we hit 90, or at least close to it, will be next Tuesday before we get back into the mid to upper 80s. That's a pretty good looking 10-day forecast. I like it, and there's a lot of nice on there.
Looks good. Thanks, Doug. And as we head to break, we have something exciting and fun to tell you about. News 4 Today is taking the show on the road. The inaugural 4 on Tour event is this Friday morning. News 4 Today will broadcast live from another Broken Egg Cafe in Brandywine starting at 6 a.m. After the shows, be sure to stick around to meet the whole team. It's going to be so much fun. We'll see you bright and early Friday in Brandywine. Don't miss it.